Hi Suman, warm welcome to the Conscious Flow episode. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you. Thank you for calling me.
Super. For all the guests who have joined us and listening to our podcast, you know that Conscious Flow is a personal endeavor. It's my personal journey to bring more intentionality and awareness in my day to day life. Today's episode is dedicated to conscious health, and I have none other than my own coach, Suman, who joined us today. Suman comes from a rich corporate background, was in HR, was in full swing, took a conscious choice to completely devote her life to the sphere of health. And that's Suman for you. Welcome, Suman, once again. And let me start with a couple of questions. Let me get going with the first question for you, please.
Sure.
So, if I ask you, what are the three principles of conscious health that you really live by? What will those three be?
Okay. So the one principle for me would be is I don't see my workout as a workout. It's a playground for me. And second would be I don't wait for a perfect day, perfect 1st January, perfect Monday. Even if I can squeeze in 10 minutes, 5 minutes in a day on in between my sessions, I'm happy to do that. So not waiting for the perfection. And third would be I chase learning skills rather than to look in a certain way. So I just go as a student, play around with that movement or any particular skill sets, like it can be handstand or a push up or a back bending, and I just play around that rather than I should look in a certain way if I'm working out. So these are my three principles. Yeah. Yes.
So, workout is not a workout, it's a movement, it's a form of way of being. There's no perfect day, no perfect time,
No.
and it's not a goal, it's not a specific weight loss goal or something like that. It's a skill that you wish to acquire.
Yes, and it's a skill that I want to do forever. Like it's not like if I chase a body type, it will be like for next 5 years. I'm 37 right now. Once I'm 45, my hormones changes. My lifestyle might change. My requirement from the life will change. So at that time, my body will adapt to those changes. It's not practical to expect myself to look still 37 or my 20s, right? So I don't chase a body type, rather I see how capable my body is irrespective of age. So it's a more capability rather than to see myself as a decorative item.
Yeah. And one line I read somewhere, fitness is an infinite game. Don't play it
Yes.
in a finite way. And for all of us, when I'm on the mat, Suman tells me, what is the need to rush, Shruti? Right now you're 45, when even you're 65, you'll be there. I'll be on the screen, you'll be on the mat. So we don't need to rush. You have all the time on the world. Just be mindful, aware, and enjoy your practice.
And isn't it good to know that I have so much time to expand and learn rather than within 6 months I have to fit in a particular dress. Who knows, going through like this, you will be even better what you never even expected from yourself. So we close our own doors, right? 5 kg reduce, 2-inch reduction. These are very limited belief. Just open up and see what best your body can become.
Beautiful, beautiful. Suman, and in the form of fitness, what are the mechanisms or what are the types that you play with in your own area? Which are the types of fitness that you usually play with, work with your students?
Okay, so like currently, if I have to put a label on myself, you know me that I don't believe in labels, but still for the audience, if I have to put a label, so I'm a strength coach and a yoga teacher. So coming from these two perspectives, I train my clients based on fundamentals of strength, because to do any kind of activity they need strength. Like if your legs are not strong, you won't even feel like to walk, right? Even you get tired while walking or climbing stairs. So first will be definitely strength. And when I talk about strength, it's not limited to only muscles. People are familiar with muscle strength, I'm aware. It's joints, ligaments, tendons, your entire body as a whole. And from there I take it them to a skill development. It can be calisthenics movement, it can be ashtanga yoga, asanas. Now what happened in this journey, when they're building their strength and they're learning a skill, all the byproduct of fitness, that is whether it is fat loss, whether it's strength building, whether it's dropping couple of kilos, it just happens as a byproduct and they don't even realize. And end of the day they are more proud, oh now I can do a back bend, I can do a split, so they go with an happy face.
Yeah. In fact, for everyone, I've been asked not to measure my weight till end of December. I'm asked to pick up 3 poses that I wish to do, make my body flexible and strong to do, and that's
Yes.
my goal. I'm not allowed to pick up goals like weight loss. That's completely no. And in that same stretch, Suman, what are some client expectations and client stories that you come across and you have kind of really made them look at it from a different lens?
So like to give you insights, a proper insight, I'll just pick up my client experience and walk through his story. So this happened actually very recently, just couple of months back, 2 months hardly. So this person, he's around 53-year-old first. I'll not take the names here, I'll just share my experience. Now he's somewhere around 107 kg and his primary target was weight reduction, which I agree based on his height and age factor, but not from other as an holistic health approach. But later when I sat with the client for the consultation, now hear me out, medical record. So 50% heart blockage. Doctor is contemplating surgery for blockage clearance. High BP, diabetes, which is ranging somewhere between 9.3 to 9.7, so it's extremely high. Now, when I asked him, if I work with you, what would be your short-term goal and a long-term goal? You will be surprised, he answered, like, I just want to reduce 3 to 5 kg and look good in my shirt. And then I walked him through. See, if I work on internal healing and reversing all these medical conditions, do you think you will not look better from outside? Rather than going for a superficial weight loss of immediate 3 kg, 5 kg, which anyway will happen if your diet is corrected. It's a natural thing to happen. But you're so sick from inside and you're looking good in your shirt from outside. What exactly would you want?
I have never felt better.
And then it was a long conversation. Yeah, I'm just putting in a wrap. And in the end, I just told the days you don't feel motivated enough to lead a healthy lifestyle or a practical approach towards goal, just look at your family and remember you have to live. I know it's little harsh, but at times we have to talk in a certain way because people don't understand. Chasing outside aesthetics need not be exactly what body needs at that time. Body needs healing. Aesthetics comes by itself.
Yeah. In fact, for many years, if I could add my story also, Suman, I had these goals of 5 kg weight loss, 6 kg weight loss, so many months. But I think working with you, and I used to write every day, I am successful or whatever, an affirmation that what will it take for me to reduce 5 kg with ease. I used to write every day. But my working with you and the way you made me understand the principles, I really understood that even if I lose that weight, if I don't gain muscles, if I don't lose fat, that's where the real challenge is. Weight is not a issue. The point is, can I gain more muscles? And if I gain good muscles, even if there's some extra weight or the weight remains same, not an issue. But it's important for me to gain good muscles. And at the same time, when I gain muscles, fat loss is a byproduct that happens. I think you brought a very clear shift. And for years, something which I was, aspiring, chasing, putting it as a goal. I think now is the time, after so many years, the way you explain me, you help me drop that. And that's one glimpse of my personal effort to a conscious health, a health where I'm 45, when I'm 65, 75, whatever age life gives me, I'm able to do things I really want. I have the capability to move well, I have the ability to be with nature, go for hikes, do things. And that's an aspiration, Suman, that you built on me.
Shruti, so you have experienced this yourself, and we have been working together for quite some time. We started from strength, gym-based kind of training, and eventually we entered into Ashtanga yoga principles and other things as well. We do multiple things in training session, right? One thing is like, see, weight loss in itself is not a bad thing, but specifically to you, you're not even overweight. And still you were not happy with you always felt, okay, if my arms are loose, my stomach is loose, I need to lose some weight. So, but still not being overweight, but body is not what you want. So fundamentally something was off the track, right? That's where the muscle thing comes. Your weight is not an issue. How your body appear, why it is not toned, why it is not firm. And that firmness and the toning of the body comes from muscle mass. It has nothing to do with weight loss.
Yes, good.
Exactly. Yeah. No, in morbid obesity, yeah, weight loss is needed. If someone is really like 100 plus on such categories. But for people like you, and especially women of 30 plus, I always say, as a woman, our body changes 3 times in a month itself. I keep telling you that also. Just take your weight before period, after period, you will see a drastic change, right? So 2 kg, 3 kg is nothing for us but water. See, from last 6-7 months, what's your personal experience? Because you always thought you need weight loss, and you were never overweight in the first place.
First of all, I thought I was overweight, but I think for a minute I'm looking at it differently. Even if I weigh a little bit over my BMI or whatever, I think the goals are more clear. I wish to have a more flexible, strong body which can do things. And like 6-7 months, regular workout has not changed my weight per se, but has changed my movement. And it changed my movement. It made me more agile, more flexible, more stretchy. And I can do different kinds of workout well. And that's a real differentiator. If I can do this thing well and better, hence now I'm not so much stuck on a weight right now. And I think you made me completely flip that lens. And the journey of conscious health is about, first of all, no judgment on your body. Number 1. Number 2, it's a long time sustainable thing. So I work out 4 days a week, strength yoga combination, followed by good movement and some good amount of protein in my food, along with fiber and foundational things. And that's for me now conscious health. I don't think I want to ever put in a goal of this ideal weight, but I want to always put a goal of more agile body, more flexible body. I think one has to go beyond aesthetics. And one reaches a point that one says that aesthetics is fine, but there's something beyond that, and one has to look into that.
Aesthetics will come and go as the trend changes, right? But your consciousness towards health and fitness, and here I would like to differentiate also, health and fitness are 2 different topics. Health basically means no medical ailment, like you don't need any pills or medication, nothing. Fitness is when a body can perform above and beyond average human capacity. Wow. So fitness is something much more ahead of basic health. But to reach fitness, someone has to be healthy first.
And health,
Yeah, and BMI is a very outdated practice. It's for everyone. I'm telling you, please stop checking BMI parameters, because BMI is 20-25 years outdated practice where it declares someone healthy or fit, unfit. In certain professions like air hostess or defense, they still use BMI, but the reason is completely different. It's not the reason to only declare someone fit or unfit. A person can be on scale overweight, but if it's a muscle weight, it's not going to harm. Muscle is the medicine. Muscle gives you anti-aging, muscles give you injury protection, muscle give you high metabolic rate, so you can enjoy all tasty food in the world and your body will still burn it out. So muscle is your best friend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yoga is also considered, I mean, along with strength training, you're a big advocate of yoga.
I am a very, very big advocate. And before you proceed, I want to ask you something. I come across as an yoga teacher very often. Oh, you must be very flexible. Yoga is all about flexibility. You being my student as in for yoga, what's your take? Is yoga really about only flexibility?
Yeah, could be initial years. I thought yoga is about lot of stretches, not much of sweat, relaxation. So that was my initial impression, and some of the classes that I underwent also made me experience that, Suman. But then there are different formats of yoga, and especially if you go to a format like you support me with Ashtanga yoga, or I've done a younger yoga. I mean, there is an amount of flexibility for sure, but it is also really layered on the foundations of very good strength. Something like a chaturanga, the push
Push-up,
that you
yeah.
do, the push-up you do in an Ashtanga yoga form. Oh, it needs a lot of arm strength, a lot of chest strength. Or today, what we did, we were doing splits. We are trying to
Yes,
move
middle
between
split, yes.
middle splits. So my thigh strength and how deep is it? And yeah, there are days where I sweat, where I'm done. But the beautiful part of yoga that I find, Suman, is I tell you, after the end of the session, hey, I mean, I still have energy with me. And you tell me that it's normal to have energy with you after a session. You are supposed to
Exactly.
practice.
Exactly. So people find I have done an intense or a good workout only if I am dead beat end of the session. But think logically, okay? Now, in the first place, why did we started doing workout? The reason was because we wanted to be more energetic, we want to be more participating in our other aspects of the life. Now I am a fitness coach, so it makes sense for me to do multiple sessions. But you being a corporate person or a homemaker or a lawyer, doctor, something, after you work out, you're supposed to go and get those job done, right? Now imagine if you're dead beat, high intensity. What happens to your throughout the day activity? Do you have leverage or luxury to go and sleep?
Yeah.
We do it, right? We carry on with our life. So work in the first place, we started only doing workout so that we can be stronger and we can lead our life better without any back pain, knee pain, and things. And we missed the concept. So this is supposed to support our energy levels and lifestyle rather than damaging it. And that's a beautiful aspect about yoga. And consciously done any movement rather than always tracking how many jumps, how many high intense movement we have done. We need to see mindfully how much muscle engagement at that particular moment we have done. So the
Yeah.
trick is in minutes, not in hours.
Yeah. And you talk a little bit about biomechanics of the body, you know. I mean, even how you place your feet and the touching of
Exactly.
that feet on the mat and the way it is touching, or how, like, I know that she taught me how my hands are put, and like how strongly can I put my fingers and get a good grip. Now with that grip, any movement. So yeah, yoga, it's far more beyond the push and the force. It's also about the physics of it. It's also about the awareness and breath about it. And I think the more you more recognize this, you become more and more conscious in your movement. And it's not only movement that's required, it's conscious movement that's required.
But I say it when the vision, that is while doing the movement, where you see how you feel in the body at that. If I'm doing a chaturanga, I should feel pressure in my arms, chest and core, and not in my legs. Most of, like 80% of my feeling, engagement of the muscle, I call it vision. That is in yoga we call it drishti. And then whether I'm inhaling, exhaling, or holding the breath in yoga we call it kumbhak. So whether these three things are aligned or not, that is yoga for me. That is the unionship, like how my body is able to move with the breath and feeling of that movement.
What are the three things? Drishti, kumbhak?
Drishti, kumbhak, and muscle engagement.
Okay. Drishti, kumbhak, and which part of the muscle that's engaged? The body.
Exactly. So it can vary asana to asana or movement to movement. So we can just put it as a broader term, muscle group. So how your body feels, that's the physical aspect. Vision, where you're focused, and third will be your breath, whether you're inhaling, exhaling, or holding it.
Sure. I recently wrote something about strength training in yoga. Strength training is a lot about force, stability, control, and you train to become stronger. Yoga is a lot about receiving, unfolding, surrender, listening to body signal and wisdom.
So strength training is something you do in gym or yoga mat or a room, like if you're a calisthenic player, or on a ground. Yoga is something you live. Yoga is not about exercise. It's not about asana. If I will start talking about yoga, that itself is a separate podcast for us. It's an ongoing, it's like thousands of years. It's a civilization basically, right? So yoga is not workout. Yoga is not movement. It's a way how we live. Now, what we are discussing today is asana, which is just one aspect of the yoga. And that's the physical aspect of yoga. Sure. Where we are not talking about any other aspect. So whether we call it strength, we call it asana. Asana cannot be done without strength.
Full stop.
Full stop, yes. Because if someone is having a back pain, can I give them chakrasana? No, I cannot, right? Back bending poses. First, I have to put them rehab, then I have to build the strength, and then they will do the asana. So actually, a patient can do strength training, but they cannot do yoga. Asana, I'm talking about rehabilitation comes into picture. So it's like advanced level of the body capability.
Yeah. And Suman, you always say that after a particular age, with age your body moves and evolves. So after a particular age, specifically for men and women, the duo of strength training and asanas of yoga, they are a very powerful combination. What's your comment on that?
Yes, so I always see my strength comes from gym training. I lift weight and I love lifting weight. So I see lifting weight as a supportive function for improvising my yoga and calisthenics. I am still a very big advocate of body movement. Reason being, when we are lifting weight or we are gym training, particularly putting ourselves in a closed environment, body pathway is pre-decided. It will move in a certain way, it will break down in a certain way, it will repetitions will give you a certain result. But when we take it off the controlled environment where body can fall, body can bend, body can flex, body can hold, your mind also starts rewiring there. Your brain is also being very hyperactive, that I have to stop from falling, I have to hold the body right now. So it's not like deadbeat with closed eyes, you are just doing the movement. So it is supportive, but we cannot tell these are two different aspects, because see, at times I have recently spoken about relative strength and absolute strength. These are two very critical concepts. If you go on social media, there's a lot of yoga versus gym. This topic is going on, which is superior. It is not superior to anything. It's very simple, relative and absolute strength. When you do a movement with your body, it's relative strength. When you do a workout with external weight, it's absolute strength. And both are equally important. Will you ever tell a gymnast is weaker than a gym person? A gym person can lift 100 kg deadlift, but they cannot do a push up, they cannot do a handstand. But a gymnast can do a backflip. So it's two individual discipline, but both need strength. So it's never a versus. It's picking up the best from what compensate each other. So for yoga, we don't have a lot of pull activity, which is very important to strengthen our back. At least I am not aware of, like, with, because I'm learning and I'm teaching, I'm also evolving as an person. So as per my current awareness, the back is a limited factor when it comes to yoga asana. So it's very important to have something else. So we can go for pull-ups, we can go for bent over rowing, those exercises which is gym or calisthenics. So it's like compensating what is missing from one. But when we talk about gym, there is no mindfulness. They don't focus much on breath. They don't focus much on flexibility. Flexibility is important for ligament tendon. They don't focus on mobility, which is very important for the joints. So when these things come, I think yoga would be a better option. So the combination of best, I always say combination of the best, and top of it, whatever we like to do. You can dance, you can run, you can swim. Those are all extra bonuses.
And with that, let me ask you another, coming to the end of our session. So one or two last questions, Suman. If
Yes.
someone has 10 minutes in that day and there's zero motivation, what would you recommend someone? I have 10 minutes, I don't have much motivation, and it's one of those days. Or that's the third day of
This is your personal experience because the days you're not fully awake. My first question to you is always, how awake are you? So if you only have
and it's my third day of my not awake days, adding to the
yeah. So first thing, if you have only 10 minutes, first we'll talk from the time perspective. And zero motivation, it can be due to any reason. Maybe last time did not have a good sleep. Do nothing. First thing is just sit on ground and take 5 to 10 deep breath and come back to the moment, that present moment. Being present moment, you will realize you still have remaining 8 or 7 minutes left, and just move your body how you feel like. You can go in a simple down dog, you can just go for your shoulder rotations, you can just go for neck rotation to loosen up your joints and feel ease in your body. Nothing else is needed. It will hardly take 5 to 7 minutes. Even if you don't feel like to do even that, just go and stand in your balcony and take sun, because light has this tendency to bring positive energy and in us. We feel more joyful and awakened when we are in sunlight. So soaking in the sunlight.
Yeah, I think one element of, and I was speaking to my mom yesterday, and she's recovering from an allergy that she has got. So 30 minutes of walk is also tricky for her. And hence I said that 7 minutes after every meal. And this is something, as a conscious health, the entire thing of going all in, doing 1 hour every day, life has its own inconsistencies. And it's an infinite game. So if you are in an infinite game, make it as frictionless and simple as possible. So 4-5 days, that base level of that. And I heard two very interesting comments, Suman, and I'd like to share this with my readers also, listeners also. Someone said that, hey, I work out every day, and that's how I maintain my fitness. I don't have any questions in my head whether I'll work out or not. Just that I take a shower, I work out. That's one way, and that works for one person. There's another guy who said that I purposefully reduce my workout to 4 days a week. So that now with that intensity, I know that I have to be more conscious about how much I eat, what I sleep, because I don't have the luxury of working out 7 days a week. I will only do it 4 days a week. So I have to maintain other dynamics, and that works for person B. So I think we have to all find our own conscious health rhythm, get element of Not giving it completely, but incrementally moving on, and it could be even the small steps are important.
Exactly. And see, I will talk as in fitness coach. People must be thinking we are so perfect with our diet, we are so perfect with our workout. No, we are humans. It is something we enjoy doing. Some people enjoy doing, at least I enjoy. And at the same time, it is a profession. But I'll tell you, being a yoga teacher or being a fitness coach also, if I take more than 5 to 6 classes in a day, or like 6 is my max out I'm talking about, if I go beyond 4 also, I can personally feel the dip in my own quality. There are days when I wake up and I just don't feel like doing any workout, and I have been working out throughout my life. At 37, I was a Bharatanatyam dancer, like from age 8, you can say, or since I started walking, actually, you can say I was always into some physical activity. Still, there are days where I don't feel like doing anything. And I'm absolutely okay. That day, I will be just lazing in my pajamas in bed, and I don't feel guilty about it. My body, because why I'm feeling that way, because my body is asking me. So don't take so much of pressure of things that it has to be perfect. If a child has, like, take this an example, school going kid, during exams they will not go for playing. Once exams are done, they will only play. So see your life like that. Certain days will be busy days, it's okay. Certain days you will have more time, do more. So see that 1 hour, if you're someone who takes like, okay, 1 hour I'll dedicate to this, think of this as your play out time, not as in workout. No matter, see, we don't see eating as a task, right? Sleeping as a task, or drinking water as a task. It just happens with the life. Start seeing your workouts, movements like that as a part of you, rather than ki अलग से 1 घंटा निकालना है, like it's a separate task for which I have to allocate 1 hour. No, it's your play out time. Do whatever you like. You like dancing, go and dance. You like football, you go and play football. You just want to go and walk around in neighborhood, go and do that. It's absolutely okay. And then treat your business meetings, business travels as in time, examination time. Okay, now I have to study more. So this simple mindset will help you. A child will never have a time management issue, right? एग्जाम से एक रात पहले भी वो पूरा सिलेबस खत्म कर लेते हैं. So stop taking life so seriously and being always adult mode. Do only most fundamental exercise: squat, push up, pull up. Done. Everything is covered. If you have no time, 7 minutes, 5 minutes, nothing, no time at all, don't even see you're doing to workout. Instead of sitting on a chair, sit in Malasana, sit in your deep squat position. Knee pain, halfway you sit and do your job. Rather than phone call, rather than sitting in one place, walk around in your room and take that phone call. So these small practices will definitely help. It's not taking out a separate time.
Yeah, it's not a mega thing. It's not an allocated time. It's integration into your life. Okay.
Yes.
So, someone with this time to close our conversation, what will be your final 3 parting thoughts for conscious health? Top 3 thinking that you would want the audience to leave behind.
Conscious health. That's very, sounds very heavy. So
Okay.
first thing to everyone, I will please stop saying a workout is something extra time. Workouts will add extra time in your life. 2, have peace with your body. Your body has given you a lot. Whatever we have achieved in this life is through our body. Yes, it's brain and skills, but it's carried in this body, right? So it is already doing a lot. Stop criticizing, make peace, start loving, and start your journey from there. Easy to be said, very, very difficult with the current situation. Third would be, please don't wait for that perfect moment. Death does not come in perfect time. So if you're living, if you're breathing, if you can move your hand, if you can move your leg, you can do anything in this life. So that approach has to be so casual towards this, and just move like even when we are going through emotional, we say move on. Body also move on. That's all is needed. That's my personal take. And Do not get in the trap of supplementation, strict diets, or particular style of training. No. The market makes money on our fear, and women are the easiest target. For example, whitening creams, hair dye. What's wrong? We have evolved now, at least whitening cream, we have started talking against it. Same is whether you're plus size, you're minus size, you're skinny, you have good breasts, you have good hips, you are beautiful in your own way. Please do not fund anything who will sell you 10 days 10 kg, 5 days slim arms. Please no. Do not spend money on fear. Spend money on quality. That's it. So please, this market is becoming a fear mongering. Get out of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Suman. I'm sure there have been some powerful tidbits. Personally, for me, integrating health just as a way of life and enjoying body, enjoying movement, acknowledging my body, and making it fun and curious, as you say. Looking forward to my ongoing fitness journey with all of you, with you specifically, Suman. And thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed our conversation today. In case there's some questions, in case there are some comments, feel free to post it. We would love to read it, and we can pick it up in another conversation. Thank you all. Thank you for joining, and thank you, Suman.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Bye.
you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.